I joined the Air Force in June of 1952, and it was because of the war going on, and rather than to wait for draft, well, I joined the Air Force. I was only in the basic training in Parks Air Force Base, then Wichita Falls, Texas for A&E School, Chinook Field for R-4360 School, and was assigned to Walker and reported on the 3rd of May of '53. I was assigned to a B-36 ground crew, where I became crew chief for aircraft 2681, and I crewed that plane until June of '56. Well, again, we were responsible for all the flight discrepancies, repairing those, keeping the plane ready for deployment, and we made 2 rotations to Thule, Greenland, one in '54, October '54, and again in February of '55. I was very fortunate. The planes was in reasonably good shape when we arrived Thule, although there was a phase 3 on our last deployment to Thule that kept most of the planes there. They had quite difficulty. A lot of props were destroyed at that time because of blowing snow, and that's probably one of the things. My plane was fortunate to be in good shape. We flew out before that happened. Maintaining the plane, it was a very difficult plane with 6 reciprocating engines and 4 jets. It kept the ground crews very busy, just maintaining that plane ready for flight. Our squadron had a requirement of 400 hours per month, and to fly 60 or 70 hours a month on the planes that was available was very difficult during that time. It was a very difficult, high maintenance airplane. I think the deployment in the Thule, Greenland areas that went from such a different climate from Walker to Thule and back, although I also took a deployment in Guam in October of '55 to February of '56, but Greenland was the most challenging one. Well, it seemed like, again, we left here and went to Washington State to pick up the units, and from there to Honolulu and to Guam, but it was no particular situations happened. We did have a lot of accidents and incidents while we were on Guam, but most of it was with other aircraft. So they were situations that could have happened at any time or anywhere, but it was something that did affect our capabilities some, and it was a challenge for the ground crews to keep the planes because of the high humidity and the challenges that was on an island like Guam. Well, it was very difficult. That we worked very good together, and a lot of support people. Naturally, there was only 4 people with the ground crew with the crew chief, but we had post-flight docs, and then all of our support groups from field maintenance, which was instrumentation, electrical, A&E, armament. All of those people were very supportive, and it was just a good support group that kept the planes flying. Yes, I hired in with Lockheed Missiles and Space Company directly after that, and worked at Holloman Air Force Base on B-50s and B-29s. I was in a launch aircraft that launched X-7s and Q-5 missiles for the Nike Hercules as targets, and from there I went to Vandenberg Air Force Base, and I was a launch technician worked on the Atlas Agena programs and the Titan programs, and the payloads that we launched were strictly for NSA and NRO, and I worked there until 1978 when I went into human resources, and from there I went to Charleston, South Carolina, worked in the fleet ballistic missile systems on the submarines, and when Swift Lant was activated, the submarine base at Kings Bay, Georgia, I was there and worked in human resources, and we staffed that with a little over 700 people, and I retired in 2000 and moved back to Lompoc, California, and that's where I reside now.